Hello everyone, welcome back to GK today. This is Nuzhat Sana and in this session we'll be doing the current affairs for 20th of August 2024. So first of all we'll cover the current affairs for today, and after that we will have 3 revision slides which we'll be doing in the later half of the video. Okay, so let's start with our session. The very first question is, Prerna program recently seen in the news is launched by which particular ministry? So Prerna program is associated with Ministry of Education. The Union Education Minister, who is it, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, recently he interacted with the students, teachers and the parents from PM Shri schools and the Prerna program alumni. Talking about Prerna program, it was launched in January 2024 and the basic aim is to integrate the Indian education principles and the value-based learning from the National Education Policy 2020. Okay. So it is a week-long residential program and the target is selected class 9 to 12 students, and it would simply combine heritage and innovation. Okay, so your correct answer is A option, Ministry of Education. Now if we talk about the National Education Policy 2020, first of all you can be asked that NEP 2020 aims to achieve universal education in all the Indian schools by which year? So that year is 2030. And which body has recommended National Education Policy 2020? So that is Kasturi Rangan Committee, which is a very famous committee, right? As a static JK question, you can be asked that which Indian Prime Minister first appointed a separate ministry for education? So that is our first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, and in which year finally the Ministry of Education in India established? So that year is 1947. Okay, this is all about some important static GK that you have to remember regarding this question. Okay. Moving to the second question, what is the objective of National Pest Surveillance System that was recently launched by the Union Government? So basic purpose is to reduce the farmers' dependence on the pesticide retailers. Actually, the Indian government has launched this artificial intelligence based National Pest Surveillance System on the occasion of Independence Day to assist the farmers with pest control. Okay, it would actually help the farmers to connect with agricultural experts using their mobile phones so as to reduce the reliance on the pesticide retailers. Okay, so farmers can send the images of the infested crops to the experts for accurate diagnosis and treatment, and the system totally uses artificial intelligence tool to analyze the pest data, and it would provide timely information to around 14 crore farmers. And this initiative basically aims to increase the productivity, conserve the soil health, and it will be implemented at the state level through the outreach programs without any additional funding. Okay, so basic objective of National Pest Surveillance System is to reduce the farmers' dependence on the pesticide retailer. Now here you can be asked a static question, that in which country is the artificial intelligence driven platform See and Spray used to identify and target the weed? So that country is US. Okay, and few days back it was in news very much. The next question you can be asked as a static GK is, which renowned agricultural expert pioneered the green revolution in India? So that is MS Swaminathan. And if you talk at worldwide level, so who is the father of green revolution at worldwide level, means internationally? So that is Norman Borlaug. Okay, these two personalities are totally different. MS Swaminathan is known as the father of green revolution in India, while Norman Borlaug is known as the father of green revolution in world, means on international level. Okay, moving to the third question, which country has recently introduced the AIM-174B, which is an extremely long-range air-to-air missile in the Indo-Pacific? So this is the country US. The US Navy's new AIM-174B missile aims to counter the China's aerial dominance. It is a kind of air-to-air launched version of the SM-6 missile. Okay, what is SM-6 missile? It is the Standard Missile 6, and AIM was introduced in July 2024 by the company Raytheon. Okay, so this long-range air-to-air missile can strike the targets which are up to 400 kilometers away, and it exceeds the range of China's PL-15 as well. Fine. So it is deployed currently in the Indo-Pacific and it supports the US power projection amid the rising regional tension, and it targets high priority ground objects like air defense sites and the warships that operate in a quasi-ballistic manner. Fine. So AIM-174B has been introduced by the country US, and you can be asked that what type of missile is this? Either it is a surface-to-air missile or air-to-surface missile, air-to-air missile. So correct answer would be air-to-air missile. Okay. Now talking about some static fact. First of all, if we talk about this AIM-174B missile, you can be asked that in what year this missile has been introduced. So in this year only it has been introduced. Who is the manufacturer of this AIM-174B missile? So that company is Raytheon. Okay, Raytheon is specialized in defense, cybersecurity and aerospace technologies, and Raytheon has a long history of military innovation and contracts as well. Okay, company is basically pivotal in enhancing the US and the allied defense capabilities. Now second thing we would be talking about SM-6 missile, and SM-6 missile is basically developed by the Raytheon company as well, and you can be asked that what is the full form of SM in the context of SM-6 missile. So that is a standard missile, and also you can be asked that which branch of US military primarily uses the SM-6 missile. So that is US Navy. Okay, and now since we have talked about China's PL-15 range, so if we talk about some static part of PL-15 range, you can be asked that which country's military employs the PL-15 missile. So that country is China. Also, what type of missile is this? So this is also an air-to-air missile, and you can be asked about the range of PL-15 missile. So basic range is 200 to 300 kilometers. Okay. Moving to the next question. Next question is very important. Nanjarian Bird Sanctuary and Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary recently seen in the news are located in which Indian state? Both of these bird sanctuaries lie in the state of Tamil Nadu. Why it came into news? Because recently 3 Indian wetlands have been added to the Ramsar list, including the Nanjarian Bird Sanctuary, Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary, and the third one is Tawa Reservoir. Don't forget that Tawa Reservoir lies in Madhya Pradesh, not in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Now if we talk about the first one, that is Nanjarian Bird Sanctuary, it lies in Tirupur district of Tamil Nadu, and Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary is a biodiversity rich brackish lake in the district of Villupuram in the state of Tamil Nadu, and it is highly rich in biodiversity as well. And if we talk about the Tawa Reservoir, it is the largest protected area in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Also, it is located in Satpura Tiger Reserve at the confluence of which two rivers? So, at the confluence of Tawa and the Denwa rivers. Fine. Now, we'll be talking about some static part. First of all, if we talk about the Ramsar list, can you tell me Ramsar Convention came into effect on which year? So, that is 1975. Which country has the highest number of Ramsar sites? So, that country is UK. And the first ever Ramsar site is in Australia, and it is the Cobourg Peninsula. Fine. Now, if we talk about the first bird sanctuary, that is Nanjarian Bird Sanctuary, the first question arises is what is the primary species protected in the Nanjarian Bird Sanctuary? So that is Greater Flamingo. And in which Indian state is this bird sanctuary located? So that state is Tamil Nadu. The second one is Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary. Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary was declared as a protected area in the year 2021. And which state is home to this bird sanctuary? We have talked about it. It lies in Villupuram district of Tamil Nadu. And the third question is what type of water body is the Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary primarily classified as? So that is brackish shallow lake. Okay. And now the third one is the Tawa Reservoir. Tawa Reservoir is located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. You can be asked that which tiger reserve encompasses the Tawa Reservoir. So that is Satpura Tiger Reserve. Also, you can be asked that at the confluence of which two rivers is the Tawa Reservoir situated. So these are Tawa and the Denwa rivers. Okay. Moving to the next question. Recently, which state government introduced the Mukhyamantri Yuva Udyam Vikas Yojana? So this is Uttar Pradesh. That is A option. Who is the current Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh? Mr. Yogi Adityanath. And recently he announced the Mukhyamantri Yuva Udyam Vikas Abhiyan Yojana so as to empower the youth. Okay. The scheme will actually provide some financial support to the young entrepreneurs. Basic aim here is to establish 1 million MSME units across the state, and over 16.2 million young people have gained employment through state investment. 62 lakh youth have connected with self-employment opportunities through central and the state government scheme. Also, a dedicated startup fund has been established to finance the new ventures and to further boost the entrepreneurship. Okay, so Mukhyamantri Yuva Udyam Vikas Yojana has been launched by Uttar Pradesh. Now, if we talk about the micro, small and medium enterprises means MSMEs. Which Indian ministry regulates the MSMEs? So this is Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Also, you can be asked that what was the previous term that was used for MSMEs in India before the MSME Act of 2006. So that is small scale industries. Okay. Earlier MSMEs were known as small scale industries, but after this Amendment Act of 2006, it was known as MSMEs. Fine. Also, which organization primarily provides early stage ventures funding in India? So that is SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India, and the headquarters lies in Lucknow. Okay. Moving to the next question. Recently, which state government has launched the Him Unnati scheme to boost the natural farming? This state is Himachal Pradesh, that is a option. Himachal Pradesh has launched the Him Unnati scheme to promote natural farming with a 150 crore rupees allocation, and the scheme supports 1.92 lakh farmers who practice the chemical free farming on their lands. Purpose here is to make agriculture economically viable by promoting a cluster-based development model and the natural farming practices. Okay, so this initiative will actually consolidate smallholding farmers for the bulk production, and it would integrate with existing agricultural schemes and the departments like animal husbandry and horticulture so as to maximize the impact. Okay, so Him Unnati scheme has been launched by Himachal Pradesh state. Purpose is to boost the natural farming. Okay. Now coming to the static part, which country is known for promoting organic and natural farming through the Vision 2025 initiative? So that is the country Bhutan. And if we talk about some important schemes that you have to know, the first question is which Indian government initiative aims to boost the rural incomes through diversified agricultural practices? So it is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Okay. Second scheme here is Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and you can be asked that name the flagship scheme of Indian government that has been launched to strengthen the rural all-weather road connectivity. So that is Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Third scheme is the PMKSY, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, and it has been launched to promote the micro irrigation to ensure the per drop more crop campaign. Okay. Now talking about the static facts regarding Himachal Pradesh. First of all, what is the highest peak in Himachal Pradesh? So that is Rio Purgil. Okay. And which river is known as the lifeline of Himachal Pradesh? It is the Satluj River. And there is a famous UNESCO World Heritage Site in Himachal Pradesh as well, and it is the Kalka Shimla Railway, which is very famous for its railway engineering. Fine. Now we will move to question number 7 now. Namdapha Tiger Reserve, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? So Namdapha Tiger Reserve lies in Arunachal Pradesh. Why this tiger reserve came into news? Because 57 casual employees of Namdapha National Park and Tiger Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh have been reinstated 3 months after their termination. Okay, and the employees will work now until 31st of March 2025 as part of National Tiger Conservation Authority's annual operation plan for 2024 to 25, and it is the world's only park with 4 big cat species, which are these: tiger, leopards, snow leopards, and the clouded leopards, right? Also, it is home to different species like hornbills, giant squirrels, butterflies, etc. The park has a subtropical climate with a mountain climate in the mountainous areas and a tropical climate in the valleys and the plains. Okay, so Namdapha Tiger Reserve lies in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, if we talk about some static facts regarding the National Tiger Conservation Authority, first time it was established in the year 2005. And under which Indian ministry does the National Tiger Conservation Authority operate? So that is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Also, what is the primary or basic objective of NTCA? So basic objective is to strengthen the tiger conservation in India. Okay. Moving to the next question. Recently, where was the 28th Central and the State Statistical Organizations Conference held? Basically, you have to tell me what is the venue for this particular conference. So correct answer here is B option, New Delhi. The 28th Conference of Central and the State Statistical Organizations was organized by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Recently, it was concluded in New Delhi. Okay, and this 2-day conference focused on a theme named as Use of Data for Decision Making, Strengthening State Statistical System. And the conference featured engaging sessions and the panel discussions on different topics of common interest between the central and the state government departments. Also, over 30 central ministries, state and the union territories, along with organizations like Reserve Bank of India, and the Indian Statistical Institute participated. The conference was inaugurated by the Union Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation. Who is it currently? So that is Mr. Rao Inderjit Singh. Okay. Now if we talk about some static facts regarding this question, first of all, which year was the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation established? So this body was established in 1999. What is the basic purpose of this body? Basic purpose is to promote sound statistical and economical policies. Fine. And also you can be asked about the Indian Statistical Institute. When was this body established? It was established in 1931. Then you can be asked that where is the main campus of ISI located? It lies in Kolkata. So these are some of the static questions regarding this question. Okay. Next question is, recently who has been appointed as Director of the Enforcement Directorate? Correct answer here is C option, Mr. Rahul Naveen. He is an Indian Revenue Service Officer, Rahul Naveen, and recently he has been appointed as the new Enforcement Director by the Cabinet Appointments Committee. Okay, Cabinet Appointment Committee is very important. Now he will serve as the Special Director of Enforcement Directorate for the next 2 years from the date he assumes the charge, and Naveen joined the ED as a Special Director in November 2019. Okay, so who's the new Director of Enforcement Directorate? So that is Mr. Rahul Naveen. Talking about some questions regarding Enforcement Directorate. When was this body established? It was established in 1956. Which ministry oversees this Enforcement Directorate? So that is Ministry of Finance. And also you can be asked what was the original name of the Enforcement Directorate body. It was earlier known as Enforcement Unit. Okay. Now if we talk about the Cabinet Appointment Committee that we have discussed here, first of all, the Cabinet Appointment Committee is chaired by Prime Minister of India. And which two key members form this committee? So that are Prime Minister and the Home Minister. Fine. When was the Cabinet Appointment Committee first formed? So it was formed in 1950. Also if we talk about IRIS, means Indian Revenue Service. So first time it was founded in 1953, and for becoming an IRIS officer you have to clear the UPSC Civil Services examination. Fine. Now we will move to last question. Recently, World Health Organization declared which virus as a public health emergency of international concern? So that is C option, monkeypox virus. WHO declared Mpox a public health emergency of international concern for the second time in past 2 years. And public health emergency of international concern is basically a serious and an unexpected health event that spreads at international level and it needs a coordinated global response. Okay, so Mpox is caused by monkeypox virus, which is a double-stranded DNA virus, and there are currently 2 genetic clades, clade 1 and clade 2. So Mpox was first reported in humans in 1970. In which country? In the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, talking about some static facts regarding public health emergency of international concern. First of all, who has the ultimate authority to declare any disease as a PHEIC? So that is the World Health Organization. When was the first PHEIC declared and for what disease? So in 2005, WHO declared H1N1 influenza as this public health emergency of international concern. Talking about monkeypox virus, in which year was the MPXV first identified? So it was identified in 1958, and currently its 2 clades have been found. Okay, so this is all about the current affairs for today, and now we'll come to the revision part. Okay, in the later half of the video we will be doing in total 3 revision slides. Okay, the first one is the national current affairs. First of all, so first question is, what is the Krishi Decision Support System recently launched by the Union Government? So it is a unique digital geospatial platform for Indian agriculture. Okay, recently, Justice Vidyut Ranjan Sarangi took oath as the 15th Chief Justice of which High Court? So correct answer here is Jharkhand State. E-Factory application recently seen in the news is associated with which union ministry? So that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Which ministry has recently launched the project PARI, means Public Art of India? It is the Ministry of Culture. Recently, which state has launched the Ped Lagao, Ped Bachao Jan Abhiyan 2024 campaign? It is the Uttar Pradesh. Recently, which university is opening the centers for Hindu studies, Buddhist studies as well as the Jain studies under the School of Sanskrit and the Indic studies? So this is Jawaharlal Nehru University. Recently, which ministry has boarded the PM Gati Shakti portal to identify and bridge the gaps in social security coverage in across the country? So it is the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Okay. The second category is here the government schemes. First question is, what is the primary aim of PM Kisan Nidhi scheme recently seen in the news? Basic purpose of PM Kisan Nidhi scheme is to supplement financial needs of land holding farmer families. Okay. What is the primary purpose of National Single Window System that has been launched by CDSCO? What is CDSCO? Central Drugs Standard Control Organization. So purpose is to streamline medical device import. Gram Manchitra application, which was recently launched, is associated with, so this application is associated with Geographic Information System. Which Union Ministry implemented the Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 scheme recently seen in the news? So it has been implemented by Ministry of Women and Child Development. Which state government recently launched the Mukhyamantri Majhi Ladki Bahina scheme? This scheme belongs to state of Maharashtra. Indiramma housing scheme is associated with which Indian state? Correct answer here is the Telangana state. Mahatari Vandana Yojana is launched by which Indian state? Mahatari Vandana Yojana belongs to Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now the third and the last category that we would be discussing is the business economy and the banking current affairs MCQs. First of all, the first question is, as of 2024, for how many sectors is the Government of India running the performance linked incentive scheme? So currently Government of India is running the performance linked incentive schemes for 14 sectors. Recently, how much gold RBI allocate from the UK to domestic the vaults in financial year 24? This is 100 metric tons. According to Morgan Stanley research, what is the projected GDP growth rate for India in the financial year 25? As per the Morgan Stanley research report, the projected GDP growth rate for India is 6.5% for financial year 25. Recently, India's first green hydrogen plant in the stainless steel sector has been inaugurated in which Indian state? India's very first green hydrogen plant in the stainless steel sector has been inaugurated in Haryana. Recently, where was the Agriculture Integrated Command and Control Center inaugurated? This is New Delhi. Recently, which state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with NTPC for green hydrogen and the renewable energy development? It is Maharashtra. Which Bank of India recently collaborated with AIMS to launch the Smart Payment Card for cashless transaction? This is the State Bank of India. They have collaborated recently with AIMS so as to launch the Smart Payment Card for cashless transaction. So this is all about today's session, and you can see here this question was asked in January 24, this question was framed in June 24, then all these questions belong to February and March. So basically I want to tell that all these questions are from past 6 to 8 months, okay, and they are very important or crucial for your upcoming examinations. So if you want to give any suggestion, please write it down in the comment section. Our team would definitely review it, and if possible we would try to implement it as well. Okay, so now we'll be meeting tomorrow again. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.